Hello, parents and teachers who may be watching. Welcome to Creating Math Ahas for Parents. I'm Dr. Sandy Atkins, Sandy. And this is going to be a short video because I'm going to be taking the month of July off and from doing new videos for you. So the next video you'll see will be the first Tuesday in August. But in the meantime, I thought I'd leave you with some puzzles to try with your children. And I'll leave you the links to the 2D geometry video where your children can do some things and explorations with Play-Doh or modeling clay and blocks. The 3D one where they can build structures, or else they can also fold paper from a circle to get a triangular pyramid. So there are some recreational things you can do, and I thought in this video I'd give you a couple of number puzzles. Now, pause the video as you go along. Try these with your children. Let them try them out. You can use paper and pencil, but for an extra challenge, try to do it in your mind. So I'm going to give you each step. You can write this down again and write down what would come from the steps. And then at the very end, the reason I have the document camera showing is I'll actually show you what you've been doing, okay? So here's the thing. Pick a number, any number. Now, the cool thing with this is you could pick a decimal number, a fraction, a negative number. It will not matter, okay? So pick a number, double it. Add half a dozen. The equivalent of half a dozen. Separate it into two equal groups and remove the original number. Now, if you've been doing this and you've been doing it with your child or as a family, and each of you picked a different number, go ahead and check and see what answers you got. Now, I'm going to have you do it again, but this time pick a different number as your starting number. Double it, add the equivalent of half a dozen, separate into two equal groups, and then remove the original number. What happened? I bet you if you check, you should get the same answer this time. And if you check with others in your family, they should get the same answer as you. No matter which starting number you picked, I bet you got the same answer. And you again can try this with fractions, decimals, negative. Why did that work? And the challenge will be for you and your children is see if you can come up with some steps where after somebody does those steps, they'll end up with the same answer. And I believe that answer should be 3. Is that right? Now, let's try another one. Pick a number, any number. Add a dozen, the equivalent of a dozen. Triple that answer. Now, from your answer, remove the value of 4 times 9. And separate into 3 equal groups. Check out what you got. Do it again. Pick another number. Add a dozen, triple it, remove the value of 4 times 9, and separate that answer into 3 equal groups. Now, I bet you this time you got a different answer each time. And if your family did this or your children did this and you checked each other's answers, they'd all be different. But what are they? They should be the same as your starting number. Now again, see if you as a family can come up with a puzzle that would end up where everybody got the same answer or everybody got their original answer. I'll just show you a little bit of what you've been doing. So the first one, pick a number. I'm going to let X represent that number. I ask you to double it. Add the value of half a dozen, right? And then separate it into 2 equal groups. Now, there are lots of ways I could show this, but what we're doing is we're taking this answer and we're going to separate it into two equal groups. Okay. Now at this point, if you do that, right, I'm essentially taking my double and separating into two equal groups and 6 and separating into two equal groups. So I've got x plus 3 at this point, okay? Now, I told you at this point, remove the original number. So here's what we had. We had double, add the value of a half dozen, separate into two equal groups, and then remove the original number. And no matter the starting number, everybody should have ended up with 3. So you see, this is something you can do with your middle school or your algebra student in high school, right? And having them create the puzzles so your high school student or middle school student, their puzzle will look a little bit more like this versus the words. Now, let's look at the other one real quickly. I ask you to take a number, add the value of a dozen, and then triple that. So I've got that whole quantity tripled. Now, if you know your algebra, I'm tripling the original and tripling the 12, which gave me 36. I ask you at this point to remove the value of 4 times 9. See that order of operations? I'm removing the value of the 36, and at this point, I'm left with triple my number. But I ask you now to take this and separate into 3 equal groups, and what are you going to be left with? X in each group, just the original. So this, algebraically, is what that puzzle looked like. Right? And then we took this whole thing and separated into 3 equal groups. And no matter what, and I probably should use a dot here so we don't get confused with my starting number. No matter what, that's going to give me my original. So a few number puzzles for you to try. Try some of the geometry fun. Another thing is measure, measure, measure. That's the best way to help your child with measurement. And there are videos on that. I'll leave all of that in the link below. And I hope you have a wonderful July. I will see you in the beginning of August. Just some of those technicalities, if you would. If this was fun, helpful, give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Click on that notification bell so you will know when new videos are available. And subscribe if you haven't already. Really helps me out. Again, have a great summer. Thanks so much for watching.